Howard the Duck versus Detective Chimp, the funniest fight ever. Hey there, comic book fans. Welcome back to the channel where we explore the wildest what-ifs and showdowns in the comic book universe. Today, we've got a matchup that's as hilarious as it is improbable. A battle between Marvel's very own Howard the Duck and DC's Detective Chimp. Yes, you heard that right. A sarcastic, cigar-smoking duck going head-to-head with a super-intelligent, crime-solving chimpanzee. It's the clash we never knew we needed until now. These two characters are beloved for bringing humor and wit to their respective universes, and pitting them against each other promises nothing short of comedic gold. So, who would come out on top in this quirky confrontation? Will Howard's street-smart cynicism outmatch Bobo's keen detective skills? Or will Detective Chimp solve the puzzle that is Howard the Duck? Stick around as we dive into their backstories, compare their abilities, and imagine how this hysterical showdown might unfold. Let's get quacking. Who is Howard the Duck? First up, let's waddle into the world of Howard the Duck, one of Marvel's most unique and entertaining characters. Howard hails from Duck World, a planet in another dimension where ducks evolved into the dominant species. Imagine Earth but with anthropomorphic ducks instead of humans, a place filled with its own brand of absurdity and satire. Howard's journey began when a cosmic disturbance caused by the demon thog, the Nether Spawn, yanked him out of Duck World and plopped him onto Earth 660, the main Marvel universe. Talk about a fish or duck out of water. Suddenly, he's in a world where he's the odd one out, and boy, does he have opinions about it. Personality-wise, Howard is the epitome of sarcasm and cynicism. He's got a sharp tongue and isn't afraid to use it, often breaking the fourth wall to share his sardonic thoughts directly with the readers. He's not your typical hero. In fact, he's often reluctant to get involved in heroics at all. But despite his gruff exterior, Howard has a heart of gold and ends up doing the right thing, even if he grumbles about it the entire time. Over the years, Howard has found himself in the most peculiar situations. He's teamed up with Spider-Man, tangled with Doctor Strange, and even had misadventures with the Guardians of the Galaxy. One of his most memorable story arcs involves facing off against the villainous Dr. Bong, a man with a bell for a head and a penchant for making noise, quite literally. And let's not forget Howard's martial arts skills. Trained in the mysterious art of Kwak Fu, he's capable of dishing out some serious beatdowns when necessary. Coupled with his quick wit and resourcefulness, Howard can surprise foes who underestimate him based on his duck-like appearance. Howard's influence extends beyond the comics. He starred in the 1986 film Howard the Duck, which, while not a critical success, has gained a cult following over the years for its campy charm. More recently, he's made cameo appearances in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, notably in the Guardians of the Galaxy films, hinting at a possible resurgence. Fans love Howard for his irreverent humor and the way he adds a touch of satire to the often serious superhero world. Whether he's saving the universe or just trying to find his way home, Howard the Duck is a standout figure who quacks us up every time. Who is Detective Chimp? Now let's swing over to the DC Universe and meet Detective Chimp, also known as Bobo T. Chimpanzee. Unlike Howard, whose adventures are steeped in satire, Detective Chimp operates within the realms of mystery and the supernatural. Bobo wasn't always the super-intelligent sleuth we know today. He started life as a regular chimpanzee working in a circus sideshow act. His life took a dramatic turn when he drank from the fountain of youth, granting him human-level intelligence, the ability to communicate with humans, and extended longevity. Talk about a career change. Embracing his newfound intellect, Bobo became a private detective, donning a deerstalker hat and often seen with a pipe. An homage to the great detectives like Sherlock Holmes. He's exceptionally skilled at solving mysteries that stump even the best human detectives. His keen observational skills and analytical mind make him an invaluable asset in unraveling complex cases. But Detective Chimp's adventures aren't limited to the world of crime solving. He's deeply entrenched in the mystical side of the DC Universe. As a member of teams like the Shadow Pact and Justice League Dark, Bobo tackles supernatural threats alongside the likes of John Constantine, Zatanna, and Swamp Thing. His knowledge of the occult and the magical makes him a key player in battles against otherworldly forces. Personality-wise, Bobo is a blend of brilliance and bitterness. His heightened intelligence often isolates him, leading to bouts of melancholy and a fondness for bourbon. Yes, our chimp detective enjoys a good drink. He's serious about his work, but isn't above throwing in a dry quip or two. His gruff exterior hides a deep-seated desire for connection and understanding. Physically, Detective Chimp benefits from his chimpanzee attributes, enhanced strength, agility, and senses compared to a human. While he's not primarily a fighter, he can hold his own when necessary, especially when his friends are in danger. His combination of physical prowess and mental acuity makes him a formidable character in the DC lineup. Detective Chimp has gained a loyal fan following, thanks to his unique blend of noir detective tropes and supernatural elements. He's appeared in various comic series and animated shows, bringing a touch of class and a lot of brains to every story he's involved in. Bobo represents the idea that heroes come in all shapes and sizes and species, and that intellect can be just as powerful as any superpower, comparing their abilities and personalities. Now that we've met both Howard and Detective Chimp, let's put them side by side and see how they compare. While they're from different universes, they share some intriguing similarities and contrasts that make this hypothetical showdown all the more entertaining. Starting with their abilities, Howard the Duck is a master of quack fu, giving him a surprising edge in hand-to-hand combat. His small size and agility allow him to dodge attacks and slip away from danger. Plus, his resourcefulness means he's always got a trick up his sleeve, or wing. Detective Chimp, while not primarily a combatant, has the natural strength and agility of a chimpanzee. He might not have formal martial arts training, but underestimating his physical abilities would be a mistake. More importantly, his razor-sharp mind is his greatest weapon. Bobo's detective skills enable him to analyze opponents, anticipate their moves, and devise strategies on the fly. When it comes to intellect, we're looking at two different kinds of smart. Howard is street smart with a quick wit, able to think on his feet and adapt to bizarre situations, a necessity when you're a talking duck in a human world. Detective Chimp, on the other hand, possesses methodical intelligence. He's all about observation, deduction, and solving puzzles that others can't even comprehend. Personality-wise, Howard's sarcasm and irreverence often mask his underlying frustration with the absurdities he faces. He's not afraid to speak his mind, even if it gets him into trouble. Bobo is more reserved, often burdened by the weight of his intelligence and the solitude it brings. His seriousness could clash with Howard's flippant attitude, leading to comedic disagreements. Their weaknesses offer potential openings in a confrontation. Howard's cynicism might cause him to overlook important details or underestimate his opponent. Detective Chimp's struggles with self-doubt and occasional over-reliance on logic could hinder him when facing the unpredictable. Each could exploit the other's blind spots, Howard with unexpected tactics, Bobo through careful planning. In terms of resources, Howard tends to go it alone, relying on his own capabilities, though he does have connections in the Marvel Universe. Detective Chimp has access to magical artifacts and alliances with powerful mystics, but he often prefers to solve problems independently to prove his worth. If these two were to clash, their differing approaches would make for a hilarious and dynamic encounter. Howard might rely on quick strikes and surprise attacks, using his quack fu and sarcastic taunts to throw Bobo off balance. Detective Chimp would likely try to outthink Howard, setting traps or using deductive reasoning to predict Howard's moves. Their banter alone would be worth the price of admission. Imagine Howard poking fun at Bobo's detective cliches, while Bobo critiques Howard's lack of seriousness. Their dialogue could range from snarky one-liners to deeper reflections on their roles as outsiders in their worlds. Ultimately, their contrasting yet oddly complementary abilities and personalities make them perfect foils for each other. It's a classic matchup of brawn and wit versus intellect and strategy, all wrapped up in a comedic package that only a duck and a chimp could deliver. The hypothetical showdown. Picture this, an interdimensional hub known as the Crossroads Cafe, a cosmic hotspot where beings from all realities gather. It's a melting pot of heroes, villains, and everything in between. Howard the Duck, looking for a break from his latest escapade, saunters in seeking a quiet corner to relax. Meanwhile, Detective Chimp is on the hunt, tracking a magical artifact that's critical to stopping a looming supernatural threat. By a twist of fate, both spot what they're after at the same time, a mysterious glowing amulet resting on a table. Howard, thinking it might fetch a good price, reaches for it just as Bobo arrives, knowing its true power. Their hands meet and sparks fly. Not the magical kind, but the kind that ignites an unforgettable encounter. "Hey, whoa there, buddy! Finders keepers!" Howard quips, pulling the amulet closer. Detective Chimp adjusts his hat, eyeing the duck. "I'm afraid that trinket is evidence in an ongoing investigation. Hand it over, and we won't have any problems." "Investigation? What are you, some kind of Sherlock wannabe? Beat it, monkey." "It's chimpanzee, and I won't ask again." With neither willing to back down, the situation escalates. Howard tucks the amulet into his coat and makes a break for it. Bobo, not one to let a suspect flee, gives chase. The cafe's reality-bending architecture turns their pursuit into a comedic maze. They dash through a room where gravity shifts direction every few seconds, causing them to run on walls and ceilings. Howard uses his small size to slip through tight spaces, while Bobo leverages his climbing skills to navigate the shifting environment. "You can't run forever, duck!" Bobo shouts. "I'm not running, I'm strategically relocating." Howard fires back. The chase leads them into the Hall of Mirrors, where countless reflections confuse both pursuer and pursued. They bump into mirror images, each time thinking they've caught the other, only to realize it's just another illusion. Frustrated, they burst into a dimension where everything moves in slow motion. Their attempts to hurry are met with comically exaggerated sluggishness. Their expressions say it all. This is getting ridiculous. Amidst the chaos, the amulet begins to pulse with energy. Neither had realized that their tug-of-war over the artifact was destabilizing it. Suddenly, it releases a surge of magic that causes items in the cafe to come alive. Chairs start dancing, lamps sing show tunes, and the jukebox spits out bubblegum. "Now look what you've done!" Bobo exclaims, dodging a tap-dancing table. "Me? You're the one who wouldn't let me leave peacefully," Howard retorts, narrowly avoiding a flying saucer. Literally, a saucer that flies. Realizing that the situation has spiraled out of control, they reluctantly agree to team up to contain the magic gone awry. Howard uses his quick thinking to distract the animated objects, while Bobo formulates a plan to reverse the amulet's effects. "We need to reset the amulet to stop this madness," Bobo explains. "Great detective work there, Sherlock. Any idea how?" Howard asks sarcastically. "Actually, yes. Hold it steady while I recite the reversal incantation." Howard groans but complies. Together, they manage to stabilize the amulet, and the cafe returns to normal. The patrons, bewildered but unharmed, give the duo a round of applause. Exhausted, they collapse into chairs. The bartender brings over 2 drinks on the house, a bourbon for Bobo and whatever ducks drink for Howard. "You know," Howard begins, "for a chimp, you've got some moves. And for a duck, you're not entirely useless," Bobo replies with a faint smile. They share a moment of mutual respect. Howard admits he was just trying to make a buck, while Bobo confesses that perhaps he was a bit too hasty to judge. They exchange stories of their adventures, finding common ground in their experiences as atypical heroes. "Maybe the multiverse ain't so big after all," Howard muses. "Agreed. Perhaps our paths were meant to cross," Bobo nods. As they part ways, there's a sense that this isn't the last time these two will meet. Maybe next time, they'll be partners from the start, or perhaps rivals competing to solve the same case. The confrontation that began with tension and chaos ends with laughter and camaraderie. It's a testament to how misunderstandings can lead to unexpected friendships, especially when both parties are as quirky and endearing as these two. Why this would be the funniest fight ever? So why would this be the funniest fight ever? It's simple. The sheer absurdity and charm of a duck and a chimpanzee in a rivalry is comedy gold. Their clashing personalities, Howard's snarky, laid-back attitude versus Bobo's straight-laced, analytical demeanor, create endless opportunities for witty banter and humorous situations. The setting amplifies the hilarity. An interdimensional cafe with shifting realities adds layers of slapstick and visual gags. They aren't just trading punches. They're navigating a maze of comedic obstacles that challenge their abilities in unexpected ways. Moreover, the fight satirizes typical superhero battles. Instead of a grim, world-ending threat, the conflict arises from a simple misunderstanding and pride. It's a lighthearted take that pokes fun at the often serious tone of comic book showdowns, reminding us that not all heroics have to be dire. And there you have it, the hysterical hypothetical face-off between Howard the Duck and Detective Chimp. It's a matchup filled with laughs, surprises, and maybe even a lesson or two about cooperation. But we want to hear from you. Who do you think would win in this comedic clash? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more awesome content. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep on quacking or sleuthing.